Well, it's a Sunday evening here in beautiful Racine, Wisconsin. You may hear my dog going crazy in the background, and that must mean that it's time for painting with MenothJohn. The dulcet tones of a boxer dog on a Sunday night. The beautiful sunshine pouring in my window on one of the only decent days that we've had in the last 2 weeks. Must be time to bust out the paints and have a talk with Mr. John Spenser, my co-host for the evening. How you doing, John?
Good. How's it going?
I am doing fantastic. You know, here at Painting with MenothJohn, we don't know who the guest is going to be until literally 2 minutes before it happens. So I'm just very grateful for people who are willing to deal with my nonsense and are willing to come on. And John, you are clearly as nonsensical as it gets.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate that. Well, we're going to start a new kind of segment here on Painting with MenothJohn, and I think we're going to lovingly call it, at least tonight, we're going to call "What the hell did you do this week, John?" And we're going to start off with our project that we had from last show, and that was I think I was working on Nitschke. As you remember, Nitschke was the model that I was working on for my father. And so here's Nitschke. I finished him up, and I'm going to move the camera in for a close-up here, so you guys can see maybe a little bit more than you normally can in my normal mode. So there's Nitschke for you, and he turned out pretty spectacular as far as I'm concerned. I'm not a great painter, John, but I do the best I can, and I think Nitschke turned out pretty solid. So I'm going to turn him over here so you can see him on his back. We'll let the light kind of adjust itself there for people.
No, he's awesome. I especially like the G you put on his belt buckle. That's really good work.
Thank you. I learned. How I learned how to do that was, I don't know if you remember, there was, I don't know if it was the painting guide in Mark II Prime, but they talked about how to do the different faction logos, like doing a Menafix or doing the swan and all that kind of stuff. And the way that I did this, and maybe this is worth talking about on the show here, is I actually started off with a big dollop of green, and then I came in and I put in an oval of white, solid white, all the way through, and then I came in and then I used the green that I had for the oval. I brought it across here as a line, and then I filled in around it, so I was basically painting the green on top of the white to make that G. And that seemed to work out pretty good. As you can see, I put in some yard markers on there, so he was actually on a football field, and I freehanded the number 66 onto his shield, and you can't really see it on. Let me see if I can turn the model here, and y'all can see it. But he also has it on his shoulder pad up on top as well for Ray Nitschke, who was my father's favorite football player. So, and I didn't realize it, but this is not the first Nitschke I've done. I actually did a Space Marine for my friend Paul Quirk, who a good friend of mine from grade school. He had sent me some Space Marines to paint, and I got to get those done one of these years. And they're going to all be Green Bay Packers Space Marines. And the first one was Ray Nitschke. So, all right, for our next model, while my father was in hospice, I started working on the Bastion Seneschal, or the Bastard Seneschal, whichever you prefer. Some people prefer to call him that. I don't, because I think he's awesome. And he turned out pretty cool. I don't know if you can see it very well here in the camera, but I sure like how his shoulder pads turned out. They are the brightest at the top, and then they kind of decrease in highlight. And I think the highlights on his knee pads turned out pretty good. The flags turned out pretty okay. I'm not a great painter, but I think he turned out real good, and he is the Minister, as in the Minister of Defense, Reggie White. So,
Absolutely.
And I figured that worked out pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. He looks good.
And then my last one, I actually painted this completely while my father was in hospice. And let me see if this guy's a little fella, so we're gonna get the camera right down on top of him. So people can see him. I'll turn him 180 degrees so you are all not looking at Victor Pendrake upside down. And then I'll tip him up so that you can actually get a little bit of light on him. But there he is. There's Victor Pendrake. and he turned out pretty good. I like how the I put some sunglasses on him so I didn't have to paint his eyes, and then he's standing on the boar's head, and I actually put a little bit of blood coming out of the head and stuff like that, using a technique that Meg Maples posted on her Twitter, which was 2 drops of red and 1 drop of brown inks, and it worked out really, really good. It really looks like realistically drying blood. So I thought that turned out pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I just painted him this week myself.
Awesome. So, John, what have you been painting lately?
Well, aside from Victor Pendrake, I got my stand-in for Thor, which is the old Iron Kingdom's dwarf mechanic, done. And started Rupert. I got Snapjaw done.
Ooh, excellent. I got to get that sucker.
Yeah, I've been using him too many times. Only twice in practicing my list for the ATC, but it was really fun to paint.
Okay, it's time for tonight's alcoholic product placement. Tonight will be brought to you by Mike's Hard Lemonade. It's cold, hard, and refreshing. I am 2 of those things. I'll let you figure out which it is.
No comment.
Exactly. We're going to leave that one right where she's at. Okay, so I think it's time to get to do some painting. What do you think? This is a painting show.
Absolutely.
Okay, tonight by the way, tonight's short brought to you by War Machine Weekend. For those of you who are watching at home, I suggest you take a morale check because you may be fleeing right now because I am an abomination. So make sure you take that command check and get back to me, or leave a comment on the down below. Here, I'm going to do like they do on all the real YouTubes. No, wait, that's the wrong way. Down below in the comments, tell me if you passed your command check. And if you did not pass your command check, then you have to drink. Ron! Hey, Ron! Mike's Hard Lemonade, it's a little known fact, actually allows you to immediately rally. Okay. Hey, Nevendar has joined us. That is fantastic. Thanks for getting up so darn early in the morning there, Nevendar. We love you, babe. I'm gonna go to he's gonna kill me. I think it's Sweden where he's from, and I'm gonna go there and visit him one of these days. And it's gonna be a good time because I have not gone anywhere like that, and it's gonna be awesome. All right, so okay, John. So I'm gonna need some help. I need some consulting on here. We've got Boomhauler, and I don't like blue skin trolls. And I'm wondering what color I should make their skin. Now, at one time I did put out a poll asking, should we have, magenta skinned or sanguine skin or something like that. But I want something I can easily highlight and low light, and I'm afraid that sanguine might be too dark.
Might be. I went with orange for mine. It was pretty quick and easy.
My primary job is black, so I'm worried that orange isn't going to work. What do you think?
You can always start with brown or mix brown with the orange. There's a couple tips I've heard.
Okay.
For the base coat.
So base coated brown and then come back with the orange?
Yeah.
And then what did you use for your highlights?
Well, I'm using a combination of P3 and GW paints.
Okay.
Based on my history. Most of those were GW. I used moldy ochre mixed with the orange for the first highlight. Then I did a sepia wash over it.
Okay.
I did a lighter moldy ochre plus orange highlight.
Okay.
Afterwards.
Sounds good. All right. Well, we're going to start with, I think, Idrian flesh. I may end up just making these guys Idrian flesh. I'll be honest with you. We'll see here. We'll see how it turns out.
Might look cool too.
I've done that. I've done Idrian flesh for Holt actually, and Holt turned out looking pretty slick. He kind of looked a little bit like Samuel L. Jackson. So we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to get some flesh tones going on here. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but we're here at Painting with MenothJohn, we take chances. We go for broke on this kind of stuff.
Oh, we missed a good chance. Nevendar had suggested bright pink.
Oh.
I just bought a couple nice pinks for doing Snapjaw's tongue,
and then I could wash them down with magenta like I did for that for for that Haley I did for Cookie.
Yeah.
It is never too late. Hang on. Reboot!
Back up.
Reboot that arm. Okay. Brown. Okay. So I got to figure out how to, because I broke the damn top off it. Here we go. Come on.
Oh, the tab. Yeah, I hate it when that happens.
Oh, there we go. That was painful. Holy hell. Okay, so let's close Idrian Flesh. Now we're going to go with Carnal Pink. Carnal Pink paints really awesome on black, I hear. So
I haven't used it. That's my final highlight for Snapjaw's tongue when I get there. I'm not quite there yet. I'm only doing base coats to get everything done, then I'll go back and do all the highlighting and inking and washing afterwards.
Yep, I understand. Actually, it's coating better than I would have expected it to.
Oh, it looks like it is.
I'm not being terribly careful with it right now because it's I'm just giving her the business.
Yeah.
Because I think there's armor over there or is that, no, that's flesh. There's flesh down in there. So we'll get her all up in the business. There, now I got some pink on the armor. Now we're cooking. That's all right. It'll just be like it's a white paint. That's all.
That's my MO. Paint it everywhere, then I'll clean it up later.
Yup. I mean, I don't want to get too nuts, but I mean, you can always go back and fix mistakes. All right, now he's got a lot of like leather gloves on and stuff from the way it looks. So I am going to just stick with that being the. I'll just leave him like this: pink on one side and brown on the other.
That's a very confused Trollkin.
Yeah, it's exactly. So Nova Open. Rumor on the street says you've got a team.
I can be on a team.
I thought you already had a team that.
Well, I have a team, but we're not going to Nova. We're going to the ATC.
Okay, so you are available as a partner for the Nova Open?
Absolutely.
Okay, there is a reasonable chance that Painting with MenothJohn is going to have a team at the Nova Open, and the team will be you, me, and Brett Painter.
Awesome. And I think Brett was at a tournament yesterday. I think he actually did pretty good. I think he said he was like third or fourth.
Brett's got skills. He just doesn't play. He just hasn't been playing a lot recently, but he's got the skills. We are the emergency backup to you was going to be Devil Squid.
John's got no skills.
No, that is incorrect. But we want you because you have been on the host and you've been on the show and all that kind of stuff.
Appreciate that.
So if you are going to the Nova Open and you are going to be, you don't have a team yet, consider yourself one of the three horsemen of the Pandapocalypse.
Awesome. I will. I've gotten okay to take days off.
Okay.
So for my boss, I'll have to get the okay from the wife to spend the money, but that shouldn't be a problem.
Nova Open is in August, correct?
End of August, Labor Day weekend.
Okay. I'm going to plan on right now. I'm going to plan on that being the case. So I'll get on the site and look at hotel arrangements and all that kind of stuff. But Painting with MenothJohn, well known for its technical prowess. Going to take it competitive style.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Everyone should beware.
These are going to be the most obnoxious boom howlers ever seen. And I blame the Euros.
Let's see. Here we go. Here's the standings from yesterday. Yeah, Brett ended up fourth.
Awesome. I saw that
John ended up seventh.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
He took an asphyxius to the face earlier.
That'll happen. I shouldn't talk. I took 7th or 8th in the last tournament I played down in Chicago. But I blame that on... I didn't need to take that second list. I should have just stuck with Efiora Adjudicator, and everything would have been fine. I faced E-Kane twice and beat him both times.
Oh, that's awesome.
The first time I won, E-Kane shot Adjudicator off the table, and then I still won. Ooh, you know what? That Devendar, this pink is looking good. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Oh, Pop-Tart's in the house.
Oh, yep.
So, yeah, Brian, hopefully you just heard there's a 95% chance of MenothJohn, painting with MenothJohn at the Nova Open.
And it's all your fault.
I've got 110,000 frequent flyer miles. I think I can come out.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
We'll work on details later, but I should be available to pick up from the airport if necessary. I live a hop, skip, and a jump from it.
ooh, that'd be awesome. You wanted me to talk to Brett about being roomies?
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, it's gonna be a good time. I've never been to the Nova Open, and if my boy Brian says it's the business, and if you say it's the business, and Painter says it's the business, then it's got to be the business.
Well, take Brian's assessment more than mine. I haven't been there despite living just a little bit north of there.
Well, in Pop-Tart we trust, except for the fact that he's a flaming communist and all that kind of stuff. But we trust him otherwise. We love you, buddy.
Absolutely.
We love you, buddy. Pink bleak skin.
I'm a little upset he didn't make it out for our big event at my local store.
Uh-oh. I meant to? No.
No, he didn't make it out.
Oh, he didn't make it out,
He
too?
was going to make it, and he didn't.
Oh, God. All right, so what am I going to do with this armor? What am I going to do with this armor? I think... Do we want to go with a metallic armor, or do we want to go with a leather armor?
Let's see. I haven't painted boom howlers yet. I just got my full unit back together. I gave somebody two of them to finish out his unit.
Clearly, his pants are leather armor with stud type things on it. If I go with that armor on the top being, I think I need to make it metal. I think I need to go with an iron breaker on that. I'm going to bust out my new iron breaker because my old iron breaker is freaking diseased and needs to be thrown away. It says, no, I'm running a league elsewhere, trying to bring in new blood into the tourney scene. He had a good excuse. Yep, excuses. Yep, I just saw that.
No, it was a good time. We had ran 3 tournaments. Me and my partner ran 3 tournaments over 3 days.
Your partner?
Yeah.
I thought you were a married man.
What's that?
I thought you were a married man. That was a gay joke.
Ah.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
No, me and PG Bowie were running the tournaments.
Gotcha.
I ran it solo on Friday. We ran it together on Saturday and Sunday.
Awesome.
It was a good time. Real good time.
How many people, Jeff?
14 on Friday during the day, which is impressive. The same amount Saturday, which is okay. We've gotten up to 20 once. And then only the 8 qualifiers on Sunday, because
yep, makes sense.
That's what it's for. We had one of the locals with Haley Double Stormwall win it all.
Well, there you go.
It was a close game, though. Haley was down to 3 life. Banian was the other finalist in the top table, and he just zigged when he should have zagged, and couldn't quite pull it out.
So you probably read that I've picked up Cryx.
Yes.
And I played. I got to tell you a story about my game on Friday. I went to the LGS. I've got my boys this week, so going to the game store it's a 40-minute drive to get there, and then once we get there, there's not a lot for the kids to do. So I don't want to drag them down there and put them through all that if I don't have to. But I really wanted to get a game in with my Scar list, and I went and I did that, and I won, and which is that's part of it, but I did forget to put a Slayer on the table, so I beat an alleged tournament list against a really good player. I mean, this guy cleans my clock on a regular basis when I play normal stuff. A Slayer down. That is how busted broken Cryx is.
Cryx is very good. I've been resisting any urges to pick them up.
Ooh, I'm going to tell you what.
Mercenaries.
I'm going to tell you what, they are freaking good. So I put my list was Scar, a Death Ripper, a Ripjaw, a Scarlock, a Necrotech with the Scrap Thrall, a trio of Scrap Thralls, 2 full units of Mechanothralls with a necrosurgeon and the the her little helpers. I put in a full unit of Bane Thralls with the UA, and I had anything else in there. That's probably enough. I should have had a Slayer in there, but I didn't. And I went ahead and ran that, and I was facing E. Kruger with a theme list with the 2 units of Druids and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I had a Pistol Wraith in there, but the reason I didn't remember it is because I basically handed it to the Druids the second turn. Turns out that Druids give zero shits about Incorporeal. So
that is true.
So I just kind of handed it over to him, and I'll tell you what, feating defensively with her is kind of funny. He couldn't get anything off the table. Even Mechanothralls were staying alive. Now,
I imagine.
Now his dice were crap, but the fact of the matter remains that it was still there. So I know I never dared to said winning Cryx strategy, apply more Banes to the affected area. Yes, exactly. And it was overwhelming how poorly I was playing that list and how I was still getting it done. However, E. Kruger's feat makes my entire list sad.
It makes a lot of people sad.
The fact that it turns Banes into speed 3 and the Mechanothralls into speed 4, but can't charge, of course, making even the combos don't even necessarily work as good as they might otherwise. And but at the end of the day, got it all done and ended up winning. He tried an assassination run on Scar, but because I was Scar and I was on a hill, I was defense enough that he had Eris 1 in the list, the only model that could render Scar relatively manageable. And I don't know if he teched that on purpose because he saw my list, or what it was. Because you don't see Eris 1 as frequently as you see her older bigger version, epic version. And so I was at the time I was armor 30, and I was oh my god on my Focus Factory rolls. I rolled the game lasted 3 turns and I rolled 6-5-5.
Oh my.
And you know what? I forgot to do the entire game. Cast Dark Guidance.
Oof.
Best spell in the game, and I forgot to cast it, and I still won. Imagine if I actually knew what I was doing.
Well, it's a Cryx's 4, right?
Man, I'll tell you what. Cryx, in my opinion, one man's opinion, Cryx is for training wheels. Yes, Keith Christensen, you heard me say that. Cryx is for people who don't really want to learn how to play the game.
I got 2 quick stories for you based off what you've said.
Sure.
One is an Eris 1 story.
Okay.
So our local store, in appreciation for what me and PG Bowie did, gave us both our choice of Gargantuans or Colossals as a thank you.
Okay.
Which was awesome. He took home a Stormwall, got it painted and primed and based, and started painting it that night. And dropped it on me Tuesday with his other Stormwall.
Oh, jeez.
So Cray double Stormwall. So he runs this thing 18 inches across the table at me, and it's pretty intimidating.
So he's playing E. Haley, obviously.
He was playing Cray, actually.
Oh, Craig.
He put full tilt on it.
Yeah, Craig. Full tilted Stormwall is a terrifying thing.
Well, he hadn't seen Eris 1 sitting on the other side of a terrain feature that she could just walk through.
Sad Stormwall.
So she walks through, hits Cray, no focus next turn. I kill half the Stormwall, he punches some stuff. Next turn, he hits Cray run away. I had already feeded, so Eris was unkillable, can play McBain. And I hit him again. 2 turns in a row.
Yep, sad panda.
And then the other one is, there were 0 Cryx at our two tournaments, or three tournaments technically.
The deuce, you say?
Yeah, no Cryx at all.
They are doing it wrong. Let me tell you, folks, Cryx is real. In case you hadn't noticed, we break loose only the finest news here on Painting with MenothJohn. The Cryx is indeed a thing. This guy is actually painting way easier than I thought he was going to. Making ridiculous progress. Anyway.
All right.
Okay, so we got that going on here. So yeah, I think the changes I'm going to make to the list are I ordered a crabjack kit, so I'm either going to make a Leviathan or a harrower, and then I'm going to put that in the list as my next steps.
Cool. I don't know apart too easily. I like the one with Ghost Shot. That one seems pretty cool.
Yep, I think that's the one version I'm going to make. I don't know which one that one is either, but I'm sure somebody on here is. I feel like I've been beaten all of a sudden. Banyan said, "Well, for what? We don't beat anyone. We don't beat anybody here on Painting with MenothJohn. We are accepting of all here."
It's because we're reliving the old Drop Zone tournament where he unfortunately did not win the title belt.
Oh, yeah. I don't win a lot, so that's okay. We like you here. Okay, so I need to put some metal on that gun of boom howlers here, and then I got to go back and fix the pink because he looks absolutely atrocious right now. But I am just kind of blasting through this.
Yeah, that's good progress there.
Come on, you dirty, filthy Citadel. God dang you. Yeah, see, they make you tilt the damn thing back so it makes a horrific mess on the back of the pot. I really need to get in just to hell with this Citadel stuff and just get back to my P3s. Order them up from Jay at Discount Games Incorporated, the best place on the internet to buy War Machine and Hordes. Still not sponsoring Painting with MenothJohn, and I'm going to continue plugging his show until he sponsors me, and then I'll stop. What? Somebody emailed Jay at discountgamesincorporated.com and tell him I keep on plugging the show and he should sponsor me. Because I feel too guilty asking him to do that because he's a friend.
Right. Well, Galleon has quite a few parts here.
What's that?
Galleon has quite a few parts.
Yes, he is. I mean, he's no mammoth. He's no mammoth, but he's got a lot of parts.
Yeah. Had him for a week. It just popped him open to start putting them together now.
Yep. I got to get the bravery one of these days to start painting Stormwall. He's together, but he needs to be painted. Okay, let's get another little coat of paint here on the silver for the axe. Actually, you know what I'm going to do after I get the silver on here is I'm going to go back and I'm going to repaint his axe as stone. Doesn't that look like it should be stone, the way that it's shaped?
Definitely could be, yeah.
I have to go back and do some gray on that. Uh-oh, Brian Fox started working on his cock. He's got the prime axiom going. I don't care about people who don't like that silly joke.
I tried to fight against it for long enough. Now it's long enough. It's a thing. We couldn't nip it in the bud early. Now it's a thing.
It is totally a thing.
And we'll live with it.
So he's actually assembling the big cock, the prime axiom. Okay, so let's just get a little bit more. Okay, so that'll be like that. Let's put a little bit more paint on here.
No.
I have not
assembled it. He's painting it now, actually.
Oh, snaps! He must have been working on that cock a long time to get that far with it. Careful, man! You don't want to get blow your load. You don't want to do all at once. You don't want to burn out. All right, so I am going to paint his sash sanguine, however, because I just like paint. I like painting sanguine cloth just too much. You know, and if painting sanguine cloth is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Fair enough.
It's so weird to be hosting this show, and it's still like light out. You know, it's 7:30.
Well, it's starting to get dark here, but
how's the timing of the show working for you?
Ah, it works good. I just wife and I push our Sunday Doctor Who watching up.
Awesome.
We're still catching up. She hasn't been a fan for too long, so
okay.
I've been catching her up.
Has she watched Blink yet?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
She loves that one. We got that a while ago. We're actually at this point about a full season behind.
Okay. I have not watched any of season 7. I never got into the what the hell time does it come. I'm not a television guy. I'm a Netflix guy. So I'm just going to wait for it to get on Netflix, I think.
I just TiVo everything.
I've heard that season 7, not the best season of Doctor Who ever.
I've seen the first half of it myself, and it wasn't bad, but it was definitely not as good as the older ones have been.
Okay, season 6 was pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. But at this point, I mean, you know, bad Doctor Who or mediocre Doctor Who is still better than half the other things on TV.
Confirmed. Confirmed. Every now and again, I got to look over at the feed to make sure that people are actually seeing me paint and not, you know, looking at my crotch or something.
I'm keeping an eye on it too.
What, my crotch?
Yes, your crotch.
Okay.
Through the table. I've got X-ray eyes through the computer.
Woohoo! It's that new camera I just bought.
It's a good camera.
It's a hell of a camera. All right, so let's see here. Just keep on keeping on. Here comes some more. Let's put some more paint on this model. Woohoo! All right. So, have you seen the new Superman movie? I
have not. I'm going to try and convince the wife to see it tomorrow after I get off work.
I have not seen it either. I have no comment. I was hoping you had, so we could. That would have been a banter topic. See, that's what we do in the professional podcast business. Is that we have banter topics.
I have listened to a lot of reviews for it, so I know what other people think of it, and not sure I agree with what they think.
You know what? I think haters are going to hate. I think that's what haters do.
Well, it's a lot. You know, everyone's always like, "Well, Superman needs someone to fight against who's powerful." Now they get that, and they're like, "Oh, there's too much action in the movie."
Yeah, it's like, shut up. Shut up.
Yeah, exactly. And they complain about the craziest, like, comic book genre conventions. It's like, that's a comic book. That's what it does.
I cannot believe that someone would do that with Superman. Surely people know. Yeah.
I think it's just hard to be a movie reviewer full time because, I mean, how do you not get jaded?
Yeah, good point. Which is probably why movie reviewers like shit that nobody else likes. Because
it's new. They said, I've heard some of the ones say that, you know. It was something brand new I hadn't seen before, so I liked it a little more than I thought I would.
Yep. So, speaking of movies and games where things overlap, have you seen the trailer for the new Mad Max video game?
I have not.
There is coming out, I don't know if it's going to be in this generation's machines or if it's going to debut on like the PS4, Xbox One or not. There's going to be a new game based on Mad Max that's going to take place. It's going to be, you know, open society and open world nonsense. Welcome, Haradu. Good to see you. I wonder how many people are going to show up at the normal old starting time who didn't get the message. Because
I posted on the Facebook page too to let people know that you were on Twitch TV today.
Awesome. Thank you.
So Mad Max video game.
So
interesting.
The trailer for it is kind of cool because Max pulls up in the Interceptor. Mm-hmm. So obviously this is taking place before the events where the Interceptor blew up.
Spoiler alert.
Yes. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. If you haven't seen Mad Max yet, I can't help you. He encounters some guy who's laying on the ground and he's all messed up, and he's gonna loot him and stuff, but he's still alive, And the guy goes, kill me, kill me. You know, he's begging Max to put him out of his misery. And Max looks, pops open his shotgun like he's going to shoot him, and looks at it, and he's only got one shell. And so he closes the gun up and walks away and gets in his car. He's like, so, you know, first off, very much what I would have expected, because in the wastelands, you don't want to waste a shotgun shell.
Absolutely not.
And then, so there's this like dust storm coming, and you see him pull away in the interceptor, and then all of a sudden you hear the engine starting to come, and the guy looks over, and here comes Max's car, and he runs him over, which is exactly what Max would do.
Yep.
So.
Let's see.
And then
that sounds cool. I'll look it up on YouTube later.
Yep, it's absolutely out there on YouTube. It was at the it'd be called the E3 trailer or something like that. So,
I don't follow a lot of video game news. I'm not a big video gamer anymore.
Okay, I was just going to ask you how much into video games you are, because the big hot topic is which one are people going to gravitate towards in the next sort of generation coming of video games, and I think that from what I've seen so far, PlayStation is going to reassert its dominance again.
Oh yeah, they made their announcement and basically dropped the mic on Microsoft. They're like, yeah, and sure, we're good with all these used games, and thus everything was done.
Did you see the advertisement that the PlayStation did? It was an instructional tutorial on how to share video games on a PS4.
I've heard about it. I haven't seen it.
Oh my god, it's the most hysterical minute and a half in video history. The president of PlayStation is standing there with Game Over Greggy from IGN, and he goes, and now we are going to teach you how to share games on the PS4. And he goes, and he takes the box for the game, hands it to Game Over Greggy, and says, here, go ahead and play. And that's it. That's the end of the video. That is dropping the mic if ever there has been a drop of the mic.
Yeah, they decided not to make this a game anymore. It's basically, they win.
Yep. So, yeah, and especially now with everybody, all the concern about the government watching in, and mostly I think that's probably Forsaken Pop-Tart that's been monitoring everybody's email and phones and stuff like that, because he's a government guy. I think he's probably NSA, even though he says he's something else.
Well, he has to say he's something else.
Well, it's a secret. Part of the cover. I mean, he can't let us all know on the deal. He's like Ender Wiggin. He's probably the guy driving the drones. The micro drones we don't even know about yet. So, okay, so I'm kind of down with the bright pink skin on the troll here, actually. And then I'm going to wash him with that same magenta wash that I used on Cookies. And he's going to end up looking like pretty hot stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, now I need, for the quills, I need nano drones. Yeah, you bet nano drones, Nevendar. We got those. We don't even know about them. Speaking of nano drones, I saw a thing on Discovery Channel where they had these little, those little helicopters, the little play helicopters you can fly around inside your house. They had they had them able to talk to each other, and then they hooked them up to a computer, and they were flying in formation.
That's kind of creepy. Very cool, though.
Through obstacles, flying in formation. It was unbelievable. Okay, so now I need to figure out what else I'm going to do here. So, I mean, I'm half tempted to take all this stuff. See, that needs to be I think that needs to be a different color leather than. I'm talking about this midsection here. I think I'm going to take and go with like a bloodstone in there and just make it a different color looking leather. Bloodstone, here we go. Say you don't know about the micro drones into your television really loud. My mic doesn't pick it up. I mean, what nano drones? That's my boy. That's my boy.
Trying to cut my finger up here.
Don't do that.
It won't be the first time.
Oh, I did not go. I played in that tournament down in Chicago, and I don't know that if I shared with the Painting with MenothJohn public the highlight of the whole tournament, which was one rounding a galleon with adjudicator.
That's impressive work.
That was fun. So I've been working on tech to see how ridiculous I can make a adjudicator, and I think the tech is this: I have to be playing somebody who's got Warjack, so it's got to be against a War Machine faction. But I take Efior adjudicator, Ayana and Holt, Rupert, and that's it. So I take the choir, of course. So I battle the adjudicator, getting it up to POW 22. Then I ignite it for POW 24. Then I stick the colossal with harm, bringing it up to 26, and then I rust it, bringing it up to POW 28.
That'll do.
Oh God, yeah. And then if you're lucky, you've got Epic Garrison there too to remove any upkeeps, and then he is +9 on a Stormwall.
Yeah, that'll kill it with refocus, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure, and that means he'll have one left over.
I've only played with a Colossal once. I had a Stormwall. I ended up trading it to a PG buoy for the galleon I'm currently putting together.
Let me tell you that Efior list with Adjudicator is pretty intoxicating.
I have killed that one Stormwall that was mine or used to be mine or however you want to put it many times.
You can get it done. I mean, it's like I said. Ekane was shooting it off the table on his feat turn, one rounding it from full health to dead. That's what Ekane can do. Now
it's pretty crazy. I mean, I put like most of my Merc army into the one and took a side and a half off of it, but didn't quite one round it. But my Nomad didn't get it either, so.
And then the second time I faced Ekane, he had some really mopey rolls on the first before his feet really started to kick in, and so he ended up leaving it with like 5 boxes. See, now he's got funny armor. He's got like this all leathery thing here, and then on his fist hand, he's got a metallic armor as well. So I'm just going to paint his hand right now, and then I'm going to come back and put some metal on that. On his armor. God, this is actually painting up reasonably fast.
Yeah, it's making me want to try and put mine together. That'd be pretty good.
Boomies are sick.
Well, I've used them a couple times, but I didn't put them in my lists for the tournament I'm painting up for because I'm going with stuff that's almost painted or ready to prime or already primed.
I hear you.
And then if I have extra time, I'll paint some extra stuff for it, but so far, so good. I'm 3-0 with my test lists.
Yeah, the Efior list was undefeated in that tournament. And I faced Ekane twice, and then my last win was against McBain Galleon. I'm going to tell you what. Countermeasured Kayazi suck. They make Adjudicator flipping sad.
McBain is my first caster and still my favorite.
Have you played Countermeasured Kayazi?
No, I just got my Kayazi recently. I put Countermeasure on Crow's Cutthroats and crazy stuff like that, though.
Yeah. The mere fact, Crows will work just as well because they're high defense also.
13's not so high.
Oh, no, 13? I thought they were higher than that.
No, they're kind of... They do so much that their stats are a little lower than you'd think they'd be.
Okay. They pay that penalty, huh?
Yeah. That's okay. I still like them. They're cool.
Okay, so we're going to give him bloodstone boots. I don't want too many different colors going on because I don't want him to look like a stinking clown. Although he's got the big boots. They kind of look like Bozo the Clown shoes. But, yeah, when I hit this sucker with Agrix Earthshade, it's going to just pop. That's the greatest liquid ever created. That's liquid talent.
Yep.
How to not suck at painting. Buy Agrix Earthshade.
Just get a full get all the washes of any color you want, and it immediately makes stuff look better.
Yep.
It's night and day. It's crazy.
Yep. GW makes some awesome goddamn washes.
Though I have to say, who is it? Army Painter?
Yeah.
They do washes too. They got strong tone and dark tone. I forget which is which, but one's brown, one's black, and they're cool. So
I've been working with this Secret Weapons washes, the soft body black, as a replacement for Armor Wash, and I like it. I have to say I like it.
My store's not gotten those in yet. They're slowly expanding. So they've been open for a year. So
yeah. Well, I mean, Secret Weapon stuff. The only reason I have it is in the swag bag for Adepticon.
Oh, okay.
And I got a tube of that, and then I also got an orange airbrush paint that I am just dying to try.
I actually hear those airbrush paints are good, even if you don't use them through the airbrush.
I bet you they're already pre-diluted for you. It's got to be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
They had a deal at Adepticon where you could get their whole line of airbrush paints from Badger, and it was like a good price. It was under $100, and I missed it.
Oh.
Ben Lang, who's out of the Chicago area, picked it up, and I am regretful. I am regretful, and it just gives me yet another reason to hate Ben Lang. Like I need one, but for those of you who don't know, Ben Lang is super sweet. He's one of my best buddies. I love him to death, but we just have this running joke about how we hate each other. So, Nova Open. Got to get on.
Yeah,
that.
Apparently Banion's a little upset. He didn't realize I'd already planned for Nova Open without him. He's on my normal team.
Oh, am I causing? Is MenothJohn doesn't want to come between friends?
No, it's fine. He'll live. The other team member already knew and had no problem with it.
All right. Well, Banyan, suck it.
It was funny. We were trying to tell you last week when you joked about team shooting blanks. That's our actual team name. Banian chose it. He likes it. He thought about changing it, but I'm like, no, we've already run an event as team shooting blanks. We're stuck with it now. Let's keep going.
Absolutely. I got to figure out something for our uniform, though, for team painting of MenothJohn. I am thinking about getting some froze.
If I'd known that, I wouldn't have cut my hair. I froze out on its own.
I'm thinking about getting some froze so that we can have the Bob Ross look. And then we all have to dress in Bob Ross, like a button-down shirt and blue jeans.
Blue jeans in the end of August in Virginia?
Sounds like a bad thing. Maybe not. Maybe cut off blue. No, that will look bad. Then we'll look like we're wearing Daisy Dukes. That's a bad. And nobody. Let me tell you, nobody wants that.
Truth.
Nobody wants that.
Beta just said you're just stealing the first seat from Team Shooting Blanks.
The first seat, or the.
They may be the first seat.
Bang. See, we only get the best.
That's right.
So for those of you playing along at home, we'll be releasing the Kraken in 11 minutes, just so you know. So you can start to prepare your beverage if you haven't gotten one already. In case you do have a beverage, hey, Ron. So.
Well, I guess I've been drinking the Cherry Coke straight.
Oh, you crazy son of a gun.
Well, I actually don't drink that much, funny enough.
Well, so what? That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We always say you can release the Kraken with pop, you can release it with anything, because, I mean, you think about, Adam, who's always been a regular here, he doesn't drink, but we don't hold that against him. We celebrate that diversity.
I always feel weird as a miniatures gamer who doesn't really drink.
Oh, pshaw! I tell you what, there's going to be a lot less of me drinking at um, at War Machine Weekend. I can promise you that.
You want to remember what happens, huh?
Oh, dude, I ruined Sunday for myself. And what good does that do? That's no fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to paint his quills bright stinking red.
That actually would look well with the overall.
I think it will. I mean, it makes some sense physically. I mean, and then I can use some of that sweet Cador red highlight to give him a little bit of love too.
Yeah.
I like that. God, Cador red used to just terrify me. I finally figured out how to paint with it. It's called water.
Yeah, lots of thin coats is a good idea for the reds. I usually just go with a darker red and then don't go too high color red too often.
I like Scorn red usually.
Well, I'm still using old GW Mechrite red. It's like the base color for all of my Rulik stuff.
Gotcha.
Which, if I say so myself, I think looks pretty good.
God, I'm just realized I kind of heard this little soft thing coming here from my computer. I still have the Bob Ross music playing on the one laptop.
I was wondering if it was that or if you were like hearing the music from our radio. Because bird's out of the cage. We have a bird, and it likes having background music. So
Bird is out of the cage, folks. This is the first bird out of the cage update for Painting with MenothJohn.
Yes, the bird is named Crash.
Crash. I certainly hope the Crash does not crash in the course of its newfound freedom.
Well, it's just Corona. We like to let our bird stay out of the cage. It likes to buzz Banian's head. Well, the old one did.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Aw.
Well, it's young. It's a very young bird. How old is it? Yeah, so she's like 2 months old. Yeah. Conversing with the wife.
I'm not sure if you can hear all that out there, but she's only a 3 or 4 month old bird while painting with MenothJohn.
Yeah,
so maybe we should.
All the crazy updates.
So we're not. So for those of you out here, this is the flipping the bird, the flipping the bird or the flipping bird update. Okay, where's that blood? Why did I do that bloodstone? There it is. I got more leather. I got to paint on him. Brown base coat works for darker reds. Oh, that's a good idea. See, Nevendar. I mean, seriously, we need to have you as a guest. We're gonna work that out. We're gonna call it either the morning after with MenothJohn, or we're gonna call it mornings with MenothJohn or something like that. And we're gonna do it on a Saturday, I think, or maybe you should just tell it's not like you don't post on my Facebook enough. And I love it. Keep it up. Love your posts always, Chris. But put on there what date works for you better, Saturday or Sunday, for a very special Euro edition of Painting with MenothJohn.
Oh, he's on Facebook. I'll have to find him because he's got all the awesome painting tips.
He's cool. He's super sweet, and I love when he checks in. He will generally put his locations, and it'll be like 26 consonants, followed by the null set, and then a mathematical operand. I mean, the names in Sweden are just sweet. There you go.
All right.
So,
he said, Painting with Nevendar featuring MenothJohn.
Oh, snap. Are you trying to usurp my empire? Oh my God! I almost came through the internet at Crippled System. For those of you who don't know what Crippled System is, Crippled System podcast, you should listen to it, but don't listen to it around children.
That's true.
It is not safe for work or life, and but they had one of the guys on there who referred to the MenothJohn of Madison as the real MenothJohn.
Oh, yeah,
and I am going to tell you what, folks. Nothing grinds my beans faster than that little deal. I think they were trolling me because that's kind of what they do, but I know they don't watch my show, so I can say whatever I bloody well please about them. I think the painting with MenothJohn family is about 12 people. The 12 that are on here all the time.
Yep.
Although
that's fine. We like it being exclusive.
Hell yeah. I am not doing this to be the next Chain Attack. I am doing this to be a reason for me to hang out with my friends and shoot the bull. And, someday some of you out there who are watching the show will hook up at a con and we'll share a beer and we'll laugh. It'll be good times.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
Nova Open, baby. Nova goddamn Open. That's what we're talking about.
Stand on the spinny toy.
Yes.
You're not supposed to stand on it. You're supposed to stand.
You're not supposed to stand on that, folks. Keep that in mind. That's a pro tip from MenothJohn. You're not supposed to stand on whatever that thing was that she said not to stand on.
And it was a spinny toy.
Do not stand on your spinny toy. This is Tech from Painting with MenothJohn.
Oh.
So when you pull like the 3 flags scenario, make sure you do not stand on your spinny toy.
Oh, I got a story about 3 flags too.
Everybody's got a story about 3 flags. What's yours?
The finals at the Drop Zone Game Championship.
Yes.
First round is 3 flags. The middle flag stays on all 4 tables.
Whoa, that's a sign of the apocalypse. I hate to break that to you. The world's ending on Thursday. A question just came in from the forums asking if I was going to Gen Con, and the answer is I will be at Gen Con the Saturday of Gen Con. I'm going to take my kids, Signar Jake and Lich Lord Charlie, to Gen Con for a 1-day trip, and we're just going to hang out, and I think that Dave Monroe from the UK wants to get a game in at Iron Arena, so I'll probably bring a bag of miniatures. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time there. But because I want to walk around and see, because I've never been to Gen Con. And I grew up, 20 miles south of Milwaukee where it used to be held, but I never went because, I suck like that. And so this year I'm going to take my boys for their first con experience. I'm going to take them to Gen Con.
That's cool.
And their last,
a heck of a first one.
And their last for some time, because I don't. If I'm going to a con, I'm going to be a grown up at a con, not to be a dad at a con.
Oh, I understand.
Turns out that I may not be safe for prime time when I go to a con. But then so it looks like Nova Open or Gen Con, whichever comes first. Gen Con for a day, Nova Open for the full weekend. Then I will be at War Machine Weekend, most likely.
We've been thinking about going to War Machine Weekend, but it's going to be interesting to try and get out there. It's just far enough away that we can't really drive.
It is the best party ever seen by man. It is absolutely spectacular. It is certainly worth going to if you can make it. Let's see. Nevendar, but I can't really decide upon the theme for the table I'm planning to start building tomorrow. Maybe we suggest cock. I think a cock themed table is the way War Machine Weekend is going, and it is maybe a way that you want to go, Nevendar. Is that I think everybody's gonna be excited to see a whole bunch of cock put out on a table. So, it probably is very acceptable to throw a bunch of cock on a table in Europe. I hear it's more accepting there because the Puritans didn't take everything over. Okay, so we got a little more armor to do on Boomhauler, and then, honestly, I probably just need to touch up the skin a little bit, and then I'm ready to start applying some washes. The deuce you say? The deuce you say? What? Oh hell! It's time to release the Kraken.
Oh yeah, it is.
Okay, everybody, it's that special time in each and every Painting with MenothJohn. That's the time when we release the Kraken. Tonight, Kraken is of course brought to you by Kraken. So here you go. There's the Kraken. Remember, when you're getting cracked, try the Kraken. And once again, we will be drinking out of the bottoms up monkey glass that was my father's, and it is Father's Day here, so we're releasing the Kraken on Father's Day. Pour it a little in a glass for Elijah here, and for all the fathers out there here on this very special Painting with MenothJohn Father's Day edition. Here's to you, a hearty Ron to all of the fathers. Hey, Ron! That is some smooth Kraken. Oh, Nevendar has ordered himself a bottle of Kraken so that he can release the Kraken with me. I highly support that. If you've never tried it, Nevendar, it is a lovely, lovely, lovely spiced rum. I personally like it better than Captain Morgan's. It's got a kick to it, not unlike that of a mule. So it brings the pain. It's not like McBain, but it is part of the pain train. So it's on the pain train. It's just in a different car. It's in second class. But boy, I'll tell you, it had been a long time since I'd played McBain, and I had forgotten what a pain in the butt he is.
I love him. He's awesome.
That being said, POW 24 to the face.
Yeah, well, no one likes that.
No. Nobody survives POW 24 to the face.
Except Harkovich with a rock ram a week or two ago.
Ah, nice. Rock rams are funny. I love rock rams.
They're my favorite rule at Jack right now.
They've got what's their critical effect again? God dang it, I'm having trouble.
The hammer is stagger,
okay.
So they don't get any initial attacks.
Yeah.
Which is fun times against the Colossal. You go in there and get that crit off, you're like, I might just live through this.
Yep, there's a chip and a chance.
Yep, that's all it takes sometimes.
Yep, absolutely. And Rulix are stout. So what do you think, speaking of Rulix, what do you think of the new Colossal?
It looks awesome, and
it's going to have shitty rules.
Nah, it's not. It's going to be fine.
You think they're finally going to fix the faction?
I think. I mean, look at the Conquest. Even though it's pretty single-minded, Butcher can make it POW and strength stupid.
A billion, yeah.
So they won't count Gorton against it. I'm fairly certain. So I mean, it should be at least POW and strength 20.
Oh, it'll for sure be POW strength 20. And then strength of granite is +4.
Yep. So
yeah,
24.
That's acceptable.
I'll take it.
No, that's acceptable because I mean, a flippin' adjudicator gets to that with its eyes closed.
Yeah. So it might even get better. Who knows? Maybe 25, maybe 21 base. That'd be pretty cool.
I'm worried about speed.
It'll be speed 4.
But hopefully it won't be speed 3.
Well, none of them are actually slower than their counterparts in the regular Jack, so I doubt it will be.
Good point. I just remember the debacle that is the Rulik artillery.
No, it's debacle that is artillery.
You got that going. That's true. They even tried to put they even tried to fix that with 2013 by putting that one scenario in there. And the unfortunate part is that, I mean, without specialists, who's gonna stick a 3-point model or whatever in their list for a scenario?
I mean, you might see a Kador Mortar or a Storm Tower. Those are the only ones I really rate for the most part.
The Sunburst Deliverer crew is serious business.
Yeah, but you can get so much shooting from their jacks. It's sort of like an also ran. You can use those points for other stuff.
I mean, for 1 point more, you get a Repenter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not near the range, but I see your point.
Yeah.
I see your point.
But yeah, the Ruler Colossal is so exciting that that is the Colossal I decided to get from my local store as a thank you for running all the events and stuff for him.
Oh, super sweet.
I'm just going to wait and get that.
Super duper sweet.
Yeah. I didn't need a second galleon because, I mean, I don't have one assembled. Why do I need two?
Yeah, the fact of the matter is JVM was trying to talk me into doing a two adjudicator, two vessel of judgment list because he goes, it's legit, and I go, well, I mean, I'm certainly not going to dispute there, Mr. JVM, because you are, last time I checked, JVM. And, but here's the deal. You're asking me to pony up another $200 for a corner case list. And
Piece heavy?
Piece heavy.
Yeah, that would be horrific.
Oh my God. It's
fun, but horrific.
Oh, it's disastrous to play against. I mean, it'll straight up. That list is probably gonna make people quit the game if they ever face up against it. Because, oh man, how do you deal with that much?
I don't even know.
The answer is not well.
Oh, countermeasure Kazi?
Yeah, go kiss my rear end. God.
On Kazi, I actually just started using my Kazi eliminators with Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, those things are so much fun.
Oh,
they're so stupid.
Can you put
so much fun?
Can you put strength of granite on them?
No. But they're just. I mean,
yeah.
Solid ground keeps them from dying to AOE's.
Yeah, there is that.
They're def 17 in melee. I had daughters part charge. I'm like, what do I need to hit? 11s.
Wow. Wow. All right, there it is, Carnal Pink. I thought I lost Carnal Pink. I'm having a hell of a time getting all the flesh covered up on this guy. I keep on missing bits.
That's the story of my life. If I don't have to go over a model 4 or 5 times, I've done something horribly right for once.
Man, I'm telling you, it's because of where this silly-ass axe is. Makes it kind of difficult. And then I got to paint the axe differently because I want it to be stone. I want to make it stone.
Yeah.
I've got too much silver on this model as it stands. I just want to give it a little bit of stone love. The skin's freaking right. I mean, it's gonna look, when I drop that magenta wash on it, it's gonna be like hallelujah.
I wish I thought of that when painting my trolls. My orange looks good, but that looks sweet.
This looks awesome. I mean, Nevender, you certainly get most valuable player tonight on the chat window for this one. So this one's for you. Hey, Ron. Did I mention that releasing the Kraken is my favorite part of the show? Let's see here. We need a little bit of gray. A little Bastion gray. That'll be good. And then I'll come back and I'll highlight it up like how when I do stone bases and stuff like that. A little frostbite on there to just a dry brush on it just to give it a little love. Yeah, let's see here. So we're going to just go, oh yeah. Look at that. That's just perfect. I used way too much water on this. This is going to take 45 coats. So we're going to have to strip some of that down. There we go. Need a little bit more, paint, a little less water next time.
Oh, looks like Nevendar's drinking the PBR.
Oh my God, I am so down with that. You know what? It's been a long time since I've drank in PBR, and I need to do that. For you, Nevendar, next week we're going to be officially releasing the Kraken with PBR.
Hardest part about all these, bits for the Colossal is what part is flash and which part is not.
I heard you there. Sometimes that can be harder to tell than one would hope it would be.
Yeah. I'm just doing a little bit of cleaning. I'm not expecting to get it together today.
At that point, you just got to do a little soul searching. You gotta.
Excuse me.
You gotta do a little soul searching. You gotta think a little bit about, what is that bit something that would look like it belongs on a galleon? And even if you make a mistake, you make it part of the galleon. It's part of your galleon, and that's all I care about. Okay, so we got a little bit of stony bits going on there.
Yep.
Kettle One and Red Bull here. Nice job, Banyan. Well done on the Kettle One and Red Bull. We'll call the ambulance for you. So I got a text message in here. Okay. All right. So let's see. Skin is looking probably good enough because when I do the wash, it'll probably fix some of this stuff that is looking a little less than awesome. Do I feel like getting? Oh, let's see. I probably need to do a little bit of leather wrapping on his X. He's gonna call the popo if he breaks out the straight tequila. That's good. Get the popo involved, and they'll come over and they'll probably take you down to the drunk tank. We do not endorse drinking to the point where you have to have the police show up. Just letting you all know. Is this? I'm thinking that this is supposed. No, yeah, I think that's supposed to be wood. I think that the shaft, if you will, of his weapon is supposed to be wood. So we're just going to give that all a coat with this brown leather, and then we're going to come back with a different brown, a more different brown, to be the leather stripping. And then when we come back and we wash it all with Agrix Earthshade, otherwise known as Talent in a Bottle, it'll make all the difference. So now I need to get a little bit more of that gray going here. I got to get a little bit more gray on the stone on this one side because I used way too much water and not enough paint. Hey, I went to Six Flags today.
Awesome.
Yeah, had a good time. Took my kids to an amusement park. Had a really nice time. Hot as hell. But I did get a season pass.
Oh, that's sweet.
So now we can go anytime we bloody well please. $22 for parking.
Holy crap.
Yes, that was similar to the words I used.
Maybe not quite as G-rated.
No. Not even remotely G-rated. Not safe for work or life. I was like, really? And then I asked for a smoke. Because if they were going to do that to me, I thought I needed a smoke. So, $22 for parking. What are you going to do? Walk to the place?
Mm.
We went on some water rides. My kids, my one son is 7, my other one is 9, and we went with my ex, and so she wanted to go on the American Eagle, which at one time was the tallest, fastest wooden roller coaster in the world, and it's been there since really the park opened up, and my older boy went on it, and then he wasn't going on roller coasters anymore that day.
Oh.
So we went on the flume rides a bunch of times, and I'm going to go ride roller coasters by myself. So if you're in the greater Chicago area and you're hearing my voice and you would like to go to Great America together, MenothJohn@gmail.com, and we'll arrange to go to Great America together, and we can have roller coasters with MenothJohn, and we'll release the Kraken, and we'll do all kinds of stuff, and we can go in halvesies on parking.
Makes me wish I was in the greater Chicago area.
It's a good time. Six Flags, it's for real. So we've got 15 more minutes left in the show. I came up with a brand new segment idea we're going to call Recommendations. Absolutely my idea. No one's ever done it before.
That's super unique.
It is totally unique, and nobody, if anybody you hear it on any other podcast, you have to know that it came first from Painting with MenothJohn. And so I'm going to recommend, as my recommendation for this podcast, I am going to recommend, I'm going to recommend a board game. And as my first one, I'm going to recommend something that I've already talked about on the show, Zombicide. But I think my show needs more segments and a little more structure. So this is one way of getting after it. So if you've never played Zombicide, it is the greatest beer and pretzels zombie game you can buy. It is the rules are extremely simple. It's cooperative, which I really like because then I could play with my kids or whatever, and I don't have to worry about the competitive angle and all that kind of stuff. And so I highly recommend it. And they're just starting. They just finished their Kickstarter for season 2, which is Toxic Mall and things like that. It's going to be a great second sequel to the game. You're buying into a great game. So my recommendation is going to be Zombicide for the night. Do you have any recommendations for us?
Well, mine's going to be kind of not a game or anything like that. Something a little different. I'm going to recommend hanging out at your local hobby store and helping the newer players of any game with painting or what have you.
Man, I like that recommendation.
Yeah, there's a new young lady at our local game store who's learning how to paint, and it's just a lot of fun helping her out, giving her tips.
Awesome.
A lot of the people have been very generous with, giving her extra stuff because she's on a limited budget.
That's cool. Is she playing Circle or Legion?
Skaven.
Skaven, you say? Is there anything we can do for this young lady to point her in the proper direction of War Machine and Hordes?
Well, she had rats once. She likes the Skaven, so let her go. She'll find better games later.
You could let her know that much like rats, there are pigs. Pigs and rats, they're like second cousins.
I'm sure the Double Squid has let her know about that.
Banyan recommends King of Tokyo. I highly recommend King of Tokyo, but we're going to save that for a different show. We'll talk about
King of Tokyo would be great if he would actually show up to play it.
Oh, snap! King of Tokyo is fantastic. I'm going to do a secondary. I don't want to blow all my recommendations in one show, but I'm going to recommend Will Wheaton's Tabletop on the YouTube.
Yeah, that's an awesome show.
That's an awesome show and everything I've bought off of there, I love it. And I just bought Munchkin, and my kids are having a ball with Munchkin. I know it's not a great game or anything like that, whatever. But they're having a fun with it, and my younger boy has actually turned it into a storytelling generator, and he can go for an hour just creating stories with the different cards, and that in and of itself is ultra awesome and ultra fun.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's a great game as long as it's fun. Who cares?
Exactly. Last time I checked, not every game has to be War and Peace. So I don't know if you can see this, but his mouth turned out really cool on here. With the black against that pink is going to make his mouth and his teeth stand out beautiful. And you know what? I think that I just need to put a little bit more leather strapping on this guy's one gauntlet here, and then I'm going to be ready to do washes. But I'm not going to do those washes today. I'm just going to, we're take things step by step here at Painting with MenothJohn. I don't want to get all burned out and start doing a sloppy job. So I'm just going to paint these leather straps across this armor. And of course I'm using way the frig too much water, and it just slopped everywhere. That's awesome! By awesome I mean no it's not. But it'll be solved. I can fix it.
A lot of good recommendations in the chat window too.
Oh, excellent! God, I love. Oh, Gloom. Gloom looks fan-freaking-tastic.
Yeah, it does. It looked really fun. They had that on tabletop, didn't they?
Yes, they did. That's another one. My kids were watching my one son is third. In fact, my youngest boy, Lichlord Charlie, is watching tabletop right now, and he loves the Dragon Age RPG one, and he loves the Smash Up one. And I think that I'm going to pre-gen some Iron Kingdoms characters this week, and then I'm gonna try a session of our IKRPG with them.
That's cool.
I mean, my older boy already knows the rules for War Machine, so playing IKRPG should be easy. I'm just gonna ask him basically, what kind of a character do you want, and then we'll kind of play it. But I'll just pre-gen something for him, and we'll play one of the encounters from No Quarter.
I haven't got a chance to play it yet. Banian and I own the rulebook, but no chance to play yet.
I have played a couple of sessions, and I played a investigating priest of Morrow, and it was remarkably fun. Really easy to pick a character because of the dual career path thing. You can basically you basically come up with your character concept, and then the rules just flow. It's really easy to create a character that's exactly what you want it to be. I highly endorse it.
You might get a chance to play it eventually, but I don't want to run it, and I'm stuck running most of the games. So
I hear you. I bet you we could do a one shot at Nova Open.
Probably could.
I could GM it for you.
That'd be cool.
I will at least try. I'm not going to guarantee results. I promise you that. Well, I think I've taken Boomy as far as I want to take him before I want to start throwing washes down on him. Although I should probably do that gun. Hang on, I got to do a little bit more brown here. Ease tie, that'll work. I'm going to do the pistol grip on his blunderbuss or whatever that thing is. All right, so we're just going to go a little bit of that. And then we're going to call it a night here on Painting with MenothJohn. As always, you have been a magnificent host, Mr. John Spenser.
I'm a little distracted by helping the wife with some birdie stuff.
Don't worry about it, man. It was super awesome to have that little. We had a little glimpse tonight on Painting with MenothJohn into the life of John Spenser. You know, it felt like a very special episode of Painting with MenothJohn because of it. I'm pretty happy with where this thing went. So just to recap here, Nevendar, you get most valuable player for helping me decide the paint scheme for my boom howlers. They're going to be pink with a magenta wash, and we're going to have a stone axe, and we got a lot of work yet to do on this guy. I'm going to work on him during the week. Probably do a little bit tomorrow. I will attempt to post some pictures.
They'll look cool when they're done. I'm liking this game.
Yeah, they're gonna look nifty. He's gonna look pretty cool once I get the wash on him, and then let that go, and then I'll go ahead and apply all the necessary Agrax earth shades to the right place, and highlight with the sanguine highlight on his robes. I think they're gonna look pretty sharp. So, well, it is. It's that time, folks. The time that we kind of never want to have happen. But it's time to say goodbye here on Painting with MenothJohn. It's been another outstanding episode. I want to thank all of you out there in the chat room. I do it for you guys. I do it for the folks that tune in here. If people decide to come on and look at it on the YouTube channel, make sure you check out that YouTube channel. And if you enjoy the lilting, dulcet tones of my voice, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe and share and do whatever you want to it, so that we can infect the world with the positivity that is Painting with MenothJohn. So for John Spenser and myself, MenothJohn, I wish you all a wonderful evening. And if your father is still with you, give your father a call and tell him you love him. And if he's not, then give him a good hard thought, because he's looking down on you and making sure you're doing a great job painting your models here with Painting with MenothJohn. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.